What's up, everybody? This is L.A. Williams, the Blind Master, and I know I got a lot of clients who listen to this podcast. If you're a CRM support client, make sure you check your Bradley On Demand. We got some exclusive content in there that is strictly for spring break. So that means it's going to be gone by the next time this podcast is on the air. Autoweb. Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Autoweb. What's going on, everybody? This is L.A. Williams, the Blind Master, and welcome to Spring Break 2022, man. Wow. Excited to be having a conversation with everybody today. So today is going to be a little bit different. I want to share, you guys know one of the best and worst things about being a trainer is that nobody listens to you, right? I mean, well, let me say it like this. Literally, the 80-20 rule continues to rear its head because, 20% of the people say they're going to do something. 80% of people do nothing, right? 20% of people will actually do it, but the 2% do it exactly how you say to do it. And that's why they get the best results. So again, the top 2% are the ones who absolutely kill it. We're looking for more of those people, right? Our listener group is probably closer to the top 20%. And then you got the other 80% of people who just, again, they might hear an idea and they say they're going to do it and they do some variation of it, or they don't do anything at all. They just, talk and don't ever act. And I totally get that a genius needs to hear something 150 times before they get it. And so how much more for the rest of us? Well, the reason why we're making a podcast is so folks can rewind and hear it over and over and over again. The challenge is whatever. I just finished talking about that. So today's conversation is going to be the same stuff we've been talking about over the last 4 seasons, right? But obviously it's just going to be a little bit different in a fun format. The first one is actually not even my personal conversation. We got Malik Young Jedi Bronner, who is going to be having a conversation with a gentleman all about the 8 ways to sell a vehicle. Now, this has been something, Sean talked about it on Make Money Mondays way back in the day. We've talked about it plenty of times on this podcast, but I'm not sure if you've ever heard Mr. Bronner have this conversation. You never heard the Young Jedi. So I'm going to share a piece of that, probably have a little bit of reaction to it. And then I got a couple of other clips of training that I want to be able to play for folks. And I might go on a little bit of a rant. So if you guys could just forgive me a little bit, because sometimes it can be frustrating, even, when you teach this stuff over and over and over and people don't grasp a hold of it, right? And here's the thing. Sometimes you start to question yourself as a trainer, like, am I doing this right here? But then you got those top 2%, like I talked about, that do it exactly the way you said, and then they get results. And you're like, oh my gosh, I wish everybody would do this. Just doesn't work like that, LA. So let me go ahead and I'm going to cue up this clip. Like I said, it's all about the 8 ways to sell a vehicle. I really implore folks to pay attention to this and dive in because, I know as of right now, everybody's making all kind of crazy money. It's a pandemic, it's a chip shortage, it's a vehicle shortage. And so, I know grosses are all crazy and everything. However, it's not going to always be this way. I don't think it's ever going back to the way it used to be, but it's not always going to be this way. There are going to be challenges you're going to be faced with. And Sean talked about it at Digital Dealer. He said that, good times will create bad habits and bad times, create good habits. What has to happen is even in good times, we have to train and make sure that we don't fall prey to the bad habits. We got to continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to create, and do the things that create good, high quality success. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and play this. He's talking about the 8 ways to sell. This gentleman was just saying, man, I want to sell this certain amount of cars. However, I get distracted. I got this going on. I got that going on. And Mr. Bronner says,
I got this thing for you. this thing for you. Did you know that there are 8 ways to sell a car?
I remember I done heard it in a Bradley on the man video, but I ain't never.
Here's what's gonna help you based on what you just told me. You need a roadmap, bro. Like you need a game plan. Like when you came into March, what was your goal? How many did you want?
I came into March. I wanted 17. I wanted 18. I wanted to go for the gusto. I wanted to go higher than anything I ever did.
All right. So like 20. Let's say you like 20.
Yeah,
or use your number 17, right? Where those 17 cars gonna come from? You think about that?
I didn't even think about that.
Check this out, bro. It's gonna change your life. 8 ways to sell a vehicle. When you start a month, and let's close out March, and then let's make sure we talk again soon so we can get you on this path in April. It's cool to say I want to do X amount of units, or it's cool to say I want to make X amount of gross, but how am I going to do it? You know what I mean? Yeah. Mama always told me I could be whatever I wanted to be, but I got to put the work in and do what's necessary to get there. You know what I'm saying? So anything else we're just being cute. 8 ways to sell a car, right? So you got walk-ins, right? Like I said, point guards in our system aren't supposed to be able to take walk-ins, but you guys have the advantage of taking them. But like I said, bro, 20%, that's the top, like the best walk-in, 20% is your closing ratio. You got B-backs, talked about that. They've been in, but they didn't buy, 50 to 65%, right? You got prior and orphan owners, prior customers and orphan owners. Now, the only difference between those two, an orphan owner purchased the vehicle from somebody that no longer works here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if you have access to any orphan owners. I'm told that some of you do, but those are just like, they you know what I mean? The kids looking for a father, you know what I'm saying? Reach out. Hey, what's going on? What's happening, right? You got the service conversions, right? And a lot of sales reps don't even think about this. If I got somebody in my service side, and I know you guys just got a new service advisor, so there's some things we're still figuring out because I'm told that there's some work that needs to be done on that side. But did you know that the service center is responsible for the most income at the dealership?
I love that side, man. That's why I eat at. You know my desk right there. So
so you be over there.
Man, I go act like I don't even drink coffee. I don't made I fake make a cup of coffee. They're like, hey, what's going on with you? You all right? You good? Oh. Like, yeah, I'm good. I had a problem with my vehicle or something. Or like, you just get an oil. I throw it out there. You just get an oil change. Nah, my check engine light that came on. I'm trying to see what's going on with it. I'm like, man, what you drive? Oh, I got a 2018 Jeep Cherokee. How many miles you think you got on it? I got about 50, 60,000 miles. Man, I think it's time for something new. How you feeling about the new one? Well, you know, I was thinking about getting a new one. I just ain't really had time to. Man, come on, sit with me. Yeah, they gonna keep working on your car. You ain't gotta watch them come sit with me. Yeah, that car ain't going nowhere. Yeah. That car ain't going nowhere. So man, they eat it right on up, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Person that does service with your dealership is 7 to 10 times more likely to purchase the next vehicle from you. So the fact that you're even down there having those conversations, like, bro, because most people only take advantage of like 3 ways on these 8. So you're better than most, man. Sean actually had this really cool idea. I don't know if you'll take advantage of this, but it's dope. You go in, you know, you get there in the morning, got people, they waiting, they got their coats on, you know, they sitting there, they eating chips or whatever because y'all got that vending machine there. Bro, go to Google, right? Just type in custom donut boxes, right? This is what we're talking about. You active on social media and all of that, right? This is what we're talking about, building your brand, get a logo, all of that, right? Let's say you had a logo. You went out and made custom donut boxes with your logo on them. You go to the best donut spot in town. I don't know if it's Krispy Kreme or whatever. Just go buy the donuts and put them in your custom donut boxes, right? Just drop them off in service. Because you know how it is. People be there, they be hungry in the morning. They eating candy and all the crap. They hungry. They want a bagel. They want a donut, right? And you would do this, bro, because you got the swag. Like, you like me, bro. You ain't got no fear. How you doing, everybody? My name is Hakeem. One of the product specialists here. I know everybody was a little bit hungry. I just want to drop some of my donuts off. Hey, listen, I'm going to be over here if anybody has any questions. They going to go up, take the donuts. Your name Hakeem, huh? Yeah, like I'm telling you, bro, all business. All business. Something as simple as that. We find that the challenge is that we won't even go over there to engage. Just go over there to engage. I like that you go over there. You don't go over there thinking about selling a car. You go over there trying to figure out, hey, what's happening with what problem can I solve for you? You know what I'm saying? So love that. Keep that up. Got internet up. Right?
You know how many fake coffee cups I had to make just trying to pull that off?
Oh,
I don't even drink coffee. I don't even know what to put in it. I be pouring cream all in it. I tried, but
talking to him like, what?
Yeah, it worked though, man. I swear to you, it worked.
That's dope. Yeah, man, because we know we can flip that RO into a down payment, right? No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You got internet ups, you got phone ups, right? 10% for the internet, 16% for phone. You got referrals. When you sell a person a vehicle, bro, how often do you ask for a referral?
Well, I tell them all the time that that's one of my closing things. Like, hey man, you know anybody who's looking for a vehicle, man? They bought from me. I got $150 with your name on it. $150? Yeah, $150, man. We cut the check for you. I already got your mailing address. Shoot, you go out to the mail and check your mail. They already know what's going on. So they eat that on up, man.
That's dope. That's dope. So the only thing I would change about that, instead of asking them if you know anybody, assume that they know somebody because they know somebody. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna leave it up to them, right? Who do you know? You know what I mean? Get gangster on them. Like, no, who do you know that's in the market for a vehicle, right, and who do you know that's in the market to sell their vehicle? You follow me?
Yeah.
There's like 5 reasons why a person want to sell their vehicle today. They could just have a vehicle they want to get rid of. They could want less car payment or less car, right? They could want to upgrade. Absolutely. They could just want some quick cash, or it could be adjusting to like a major life change. Everything has happened. Mandates came down. I think between that, if you ask a person those 2 questions, they're going to know somebody, right? And then you can rope in how, look, we got $150 referral bonus. That's great. What I would do if I were you, man, I would have dedicated referral agents, like people who their job is to bring Hakeem business. So when you go to the barbershop, you probably already do this. Hey, man, can I drop off some cars in here? You go to your local pieces. Hey, man, can I drop some cars in here? You go to the restaurant. You can up anybody. Anybody can be your referral agent. Hey, if I can help you make like an extra couple $1,000, you know what I mean? Would that be something that you want to look into?
Man, you know how many nail techs and makeup artists and hairstylists? I'm like, man, look, put my card in here. Hey.
Oh, so you already do that?
Oh yeah. I got, man. You'll see my car. If you go in any of these shops, man, out here, man, my car more likely is in there posted up.
My God, man. And you can have like a special Facebook page or Instagram page where all of your customers that you've sold vehicles to can come. You know what I mean? You could do monthly giveaways. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things you could do about the referrals, but just get gangster with people. I tell them empty the whole damn phone. Give me everybody. Give me everybody, goddamn, right?
And see your auntie, your cousin, your mom,
everybody. Because I'm trying to establish a business relationship here. I can't, right? This ain't about just me selling you a vehicle. Your son will buy his vehicle from me. His son will buy. You know what I mean? This is what we doing here, right? Then last but not least, you got the lost art of prospecting. Now, this is what I talk about when I said, bro, as a sales rep, you are an independent contractor, right? A hustler is a hustler anywhere, right? And Beth and Steph would agree with this, right? We don't want customers coming in to see Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You want them to come in because Hakeem Rhodes works here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you want to be able to drive your own traffic. I don't know if it's, if you tapped in with your community. I don't know if it's showing up at community events. If CDJR store, contributes to breast cancer awareness and they have setup that they do. Show like you want to be present where you market. You know what I mean? You can get certified in installing car seats. Did you know that was a thing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard something about that. You go to a daycare and get the thing from them and everything. So,
call daycare. Hey, I just want to come spend 15 minutes teaching people how to correctly install a car seat. You're gonna get so much business. Like you soaking it up. I give people this idea all the time. I'm about to brand it before somebody steals it from me. Get a T-shirt made. It says, "Hey, go ahead, ask me what I do." Just go outside. How many people gonna walk up to you? Well, what do you do?
But you go to the mall, they gonna eat it up.
You just messed up, right? Everybody I talk to is up. So prospecting, you get out there, you know what? How much traffic am I going to drive, right? So here's where all of this makes sense, right? Before you start April, you say, all right, I want to do 20. How many of them do I expect to be walking? How many of them do I expect to be feedback? How many do I expect to be orphan owners? How many, you know what I'm saying? And you may not get one of all 8. You know what I mean? Be realistic. Like I'm probably not going to do much, prospecting this one. I got to figure that out. But you would go through and itemize where all of your stuff is coming. So that way, every day you come in, and this sheet is actually really dope. I could share you on it, but I don't, you got, I want to make sure you use it. But this sheet can actually help you with that, because what you can do with this is like a daily tracker, right? So if you said, this is the way it works, right? Let's say you came in this month, you said, Malik, I want to make.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Attention auto dealers, you need an opportunity to do business. Autoweb is one of the largest suppliers of high quality leads, high quality buyers. At a 10% closing ratio, you will be at less than $190 per car sold. Don't just settle for what you get. Autoweb can fully customize your results through targeted markets and or zip codes, and as a partner, you will get premium placement within search results. Who better to do that than literally the people that invented automotive internet sales? If you want to sell more cars more often and more profitably, then you need Autoweb.
Okay. Now, out of all of those ideas, how many can you truly say you've implemented into your automotive sales strategies? Right? I mean, from the donut boxes to the car seats to the referrals to the, just littered with all types of, things that you can do that will all help you sell more cars. And the challenge is that, like I said, most people don't do it. Most people, they hear a great idea. Most people don't write it down. Let's just say we get 20% of them that actually write it down. And then you got the few percent who actually implement it, right? I'm telling y'all, action is the bridge from what you have in your mind, all the stuff you want to do, to actually accomplishing it, right? So, man, I'm telling you, it's just... And there's so much I'd like to say about that, but I won't for right now. Here's what I will say. If you have implemented it or you tried to implement it, you ran into some challenges, you can always reach out to me. You guys know I give you my number all the time, 267-551-6279. Just send me a text. Make sure that you are in my community and we can have a conversation about it. Listen, all the time, whatever. It don't really matter to me. All right. So there are a couple of other conversations that I want to have. I'm not going to be before you long, but I do want to just share some key pieces because, again, this is the same stuff we've been talking about over and over and over. It's been a constant subject on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast and pretty much any other training. You guys see us on Facebook. We're all over the place, right? So what I want to do is play some clips and I'll just give you some overall reactions to them, and we will learn and grow together. All right. So let's see which one I want to play first. Okay, this first one is all about the follow-up, right? And how the fortune is in the follow-up. Do we really know how much money we're missing, how much we're leaving on the table, how much we're just handing over to our competition just by our lack of follow-up? Man, I'm telling you, watch this. Check this out, y'all. And again, no slack, because this is actually one of my favorite trainees to work with because she lays herself on the chopping block, right? She's like, hey, I'm not on it. I'm missing it. You see what I'm saying? So I know she'll get it. But it's still a challenge all throughout the industry. So she's getting used as an example. Here we go.
Following the priority buckets in our bin system. So I did a super deep dive through those and all of the leads without future follow-ups. So a lot of my connections within the past couple of days have been leads I haven't been in contact with for, a couple of weeks or, nearly a month, and calling them being like, well, nobody followed up with me. So, I bought a new car, I went somewhere else, so there were a pretty good number of leads that were not followed up with well enough and purchased elsewhere.
All right. So we're going to get to the whole purchased elsewhere thing in just a moment, but man, the number of people who end up buying elsewhere just because we didn't follow up. Now, here's the thing. I know that there's a portion of people who are just saying that because, no matter what we would have done, they wouldn't have purchased from us. You got those people like, you calling me too much, so I bust somewhere else, right? Here's the deal. I would rather that be the situation because at least that's something that I'm doing. If it's because I'm not doing something, now that's a whole different challenge, right? Because it's like I coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? If listen, I would actually say to a customer, if somebody had the nerve to say to me that I was calling them too much and so they went with someone else, then I would say something like, well, yeah, if you're the kind of person who rewards laziness, right? Because that's really what that is, right? And I may not say it in that form or fashion, but I promise you that I would get that out there, right? I would say, like I said, I ain't gonna get into what I would say because I don't know what I would say because I'm not in the moment at this moment in time. But I'm telling you that is how you got to think about it. You got to go, goodness gracious, whatever I'm going to be, I'm not going to be lazy, right? You can call me a lot of stuff, but you're not going to call me lazy. You're not going to say that I didn't do everything in my daggum power to make something happen. So she mentioned a specific bucket, and I know we're talking about Vin Solutions here, but check your CRM. They may have a similar bucket. Leads without future follow-up. Man, it's so dangerous. We think we're going to remember that person. Oh, yeah, I'm going to remember to call them tomorrow. No, we have to have a strategy. You got to say, okay, so when I'm finished with this, as soon as I hang up the phone with this person and I put my notes in, salespeople, when I put my notes in, right? And that's everybody for real, but really salespeople. When I put my notes in, then I'm going to schedule the next action. What is my next move? And then I need to be alerted, right? Because if I don't do that, I'm going to lose track of this prospect. It's just what's going to happen. It's human error. So that's why we want to use technology or systems. Because look, you may not, let's say this was back in the day, right? And 3x5 card, whatever. You got to use a system that's going to remind you how often and when to follow up with a prospect, right? That's just a part of the game. And if you have a bunch of people who are in your quote unquote leads without future follow-up bucket, even Vin Solutions will tell you that that's like the black hole, right? You're never going to remember because you're going to get new stuff in and, it's going to be like, oh, you're trying to close these people who just came in. But what about the people who reached out to you in the month of March, in the month of February, the month of January, right? There are plenty of people who still haven't bought vehicles. And especially if we stay in contact with them, it raises the likelihood that they will purchase from us. So that's just like the first little piece, man. I got so many different statistics and different things that I like to share with people about the lack of follow-up and how much it really costs us. I'll just say it like this. 60% of sales happen after the 5th appointment. So if you got people who are missing 1, 2, 3 appointments, you can't trip over that, right? It's a part of how many appointments have you missed in your life? You see what I'm saying? So we got to understand, and there are some studies that say it's even higher, but my research says 60%, right? So 60% of sales happen after the 5th appointment, but usually 94% of salespeople have given up by the time they reach the 5th appointment. So, the numbers, listen, men lie, women lie, the numbers don't lie. So let's talk about this whole bought elsewhere thing. What do you say when someone actually did buy elsewhere? How are you handling that situation? Is it, I ain't even going to throw it out there. I'm going to just show you what she said specifically that she says, right? Not me. I ain't saying she said it. And let's see if this differs from how you or some of your colleagues handle the situation. Check it out.
Let's talk about that before you move on. How do you handle a bought elsewhere? What do you say?
I ask them what kind of vehicle they got and where they got it from. Mm-hmm. And then I say, congratulations on your purchase. I hope you consider group next time you're in the market, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
And the crazy part is you can hear her smiling because she already know that ain't what she should say. Like, listen, look, rewind it real quick.
And then I say, congratulations on your purchase. I hope you consider group next time you're in the market, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And then they go, goodbye.
That is not how you maximize an opportunity, right? It might be a lot of things, but it's definitely not how you maximize an opportunity. So here's the conversation. First of all, I think that we need to, number one, when Dr. Covey talks about be proactive in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, how do you plan to react when someone tells you that they bought a vehicle elsewhere? See, and I'm not saying how you actually react. I'm saying how you plan to react. See, because the challenge is we act as if nobody's going to say that to us. And when they say it, we're like shocked or something. And we just go, oh, okay. And we might ask a couple of questions. So most of us don't. But let's pretend that we ask a couple of questions and then it's just like, okay, well, it's over. No, it's not over. If you would have paid good money for that opportunity, you're like, shoot, I need to turn this into something. You understand what I'm saying? That's how we got to be thinking about it. So the planned reaction when someone tells me that they bought a vehicle elsewhere is I'm going to be excited, right? Why? Because first of all, wasn't that their goal? Can't we stop being so daggum selfish, right? And oh, well, it's not good for me, it's good for them. Okay, well then be excited for them. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, that is awesome. I'm super excited. And then what that does, it's a pattern interrupt because they're not expecting for you to be excited because they'll be like, oh, unfortunately, I bought a vehicle elsewhere, right? Trying to bring the energy down, and I just bring it way up like, wow, what? That's so exciting. That is awesome, right? I'm overly excited, right? I need to get this energy back on track. And then, of course, I ask the questions, what'd you end up getting? Oh, I got a whatever. Okay, cool. Hey, also, where'd you end up getting it? I'm just wondering. All right, asking a person, where did they end up getting it? Now, the answers to these questions don't really matter. It's not 100% important. I mean, you could say, for research purposes, blah, blah, blah. Nobody ever actually, calculates that stuff, right? Well, I'll just say occasionally. But here's the deal. That's not the point. That is just pacing the conversation and warming them up to the point where I go, well, I hope it wasn't something that we did. See, that's when I say it with a little puppy dog face and everything. I go, well, I hope it wasn't something that we did. Now, when I do that, I already know. See, great salespeople ask questions that they already know the answer to. I already know the answer to that question. They're going to say, in most situations, no, it was blank. And they're going to fill in the blank with one of the top 7, 8, 9 reasons why people go online. Oh, no, it was about the price. Oh, no, I just happened to be, it was convenient because of course, they don't say the words, but it falls into the convenience category. Oh, no, I just found the vehicle I was looking for. Falls into the availability category. Oh, no, they were able to just get me approved. Oh, no, I was just able to get a good amount for my trade. That's what happened with me and my wife, right? You know what I'm saying? We weren't even in the market, so we thought, and we got a lot for our trade. But you understand what I'm saying? So there are, if you think about price, research, availability, convenience, trade-in, not liking car salesmen, the credit, the overall experience, the safety of the matter, it's going to fall in one of those 9 categories. And so what I do is I go, oh, okay. Well, hey, did you know that? And I give them a rebuttal as you heard, in a did you know format. So I break it down to them. If they say, oh, I just was able to find the vehicle. I was like, hey, awesome. Hey, did you know that we actually have access to every single make and model? Right? I'll have that conversation with them. Right? If they say, oh, no, it's just I was able to get a good price. Oh, okay. Hey, well, did you know that we actually have price insurance? You got what? Right? Yeah, we got price insurance. So these are things that I'm going to say to. Now, it really doesn't matter what I say in return, but I'm going to give them a pill of salt. Like, they're going to be like, oh, dang, I ain't really know y'all do that. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. But I'm not going to let it last long. I'm going to immediately coat it. I'm going to immediately give them some honey afterwards, right? So I'm going to give them the medicine, and I'm going to give them some honey afterwards and go, hey, listen, don't even worry about it. It's okay. I still want to enroll you in what's called our Almost Owner's Reward Program, right? And most people laugh because they've never heard of an Almost Owner's Reward Program before. Again, it's another pattern interrupt. See, because most people are just going to hang up the phone, right? We already know that that's the pattern that it normally follows. If they tell you they bought a vehicle elsewhere, they will just hang up the phone. But what I do is I do things to their mind that make them interested in staying on the line with me. Right? So I'll say, oh, first of all, I'm excited. What'd you buy? Where'd you buy? I hope it wasn't something that we did. Oh, well, did you know that based off what they say, because I already know what they're going to say. And I go, hey, listen, don't even worry about it. I want to enroll you in our Almost Owners Reward Program. And what that is an invitation to our award-winning service department, right? So if you got a service department, I'm sure there are some specials and some different things that you can do. If you actually have a rewards program at your dealership, now you're in an even better position because even though they didn't buy the vehicle from you, every time they get their vehicle serviced, it, accumulates points, right? Sean talks about it all the time. He don't really like flying, what is it, American Airlines? It used to be U.S. Airways. He don't really like flying those, but because he has all these rewards points, we just keep doing that, right? Marriott, yeah, it's nice and everything like that. It may or may not be the best, but we got so many rewards points that we just go there, right? It just makes sense. And so you can use that. Now, even if you don't have anything, first of all, most of you guys should be able to create something. If you don't have anything, you can create it, right? But even if you had nothing, you could just tell someone that they're going to get the VIP experience, right? You can just make the experience great for someone. And that's the Almost Owners Reward Program. That's something that everybody else may or may not get. I don't know you like that, right? So we go through that whole situation. I explain to them what the reward is, and now I've given that person something. Now, the natural inclination when you give someone something is that they want to give you something in return. And so now is the moment to ask for a referral. Right? I'll go, hey, almost, you're going to get the VIP treatment and such and such and such. Just, when you pull in, just give them your name and they're going to know. I'll send you an email, about whatever. I'll just get all the information. And they go, hey, listen, before I let you go, right? Before I let you go, that's the next line. Before I let you go, I'll say, I know you're going to be driving around and you're brand new, whatever they just bought, right? I'm going to compliment them. Looking like a superstar. Just, everybody's going to be, oh, man, wow, that's nice, right? And somebody's going to say to you, so I'm going to tell them a story, a scenario, something that, a movie that I created. I'm going to plant it in their mind. Somebody's going to say to you, wow, man, this vehicle is nice. I need to get a new vehicle too. Now, I'm not going to say they said, oh, where'd you get it from? That doesn't play well for my movie. That's not my script that I'm giving my imaginary character, right? I'm saying they're going to say, wow, I need to get a new vehicle too. And then I say, who's the first person you can think of that's going to say that to you? Right? And so when I snap my fingers like that, I hope you guys could hear that in the microphone. When I snap my fingers like that, it is literally a freeze frame. This is some straight hypnotic type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? When I snap my fingers like that, even over the phone, they hear it. And it is a freeze frame. And whichever picture of the person who I painted in their mind is in their mind, they're going to tell me that name. Because I'll say, who's the first person that's going to say something like that to you? Now they got the freeze frame going on, and then they just tell me the name of the person that they see in their mind. Now, if they can't think of a person, then maybe I didn't do as good of a job painting the picture, right? Most people, I'm telling y'all what I know, most people can go, oh, well, my brother, oh, well, my neighbor, oh, well, my such and such, right? And then I just go, okay, awesome. Well, yeah, absolutely, because your brother want to do everything you can do. Check this out. If Sean buys a vehicle from me, I may be able to send you $100, right? I may be able to send you. Now, here's the thing. I know that in certain states you cannot do a bird dog or anything like that. And if that's the case, no problem. I'll go, hey, if Sean comes in and buys a vehicle from me, I'd be so thankful to you, right? So listen, you got to understand that people go to work for appreciation, praise, and recognition before money. So if I'm going to appreciate them, man, I'm telling you, right, you really don't understand the power of that if you think that that's a challenge. But anyway, so I'll say, hey, I may be able to send you $100, or I'll just be so thankful. So now here's the thing. If I got to say the thankful thing, then I'll just go right into my question. But if I can offer them $100 or $200, I'll be like, wouldn't that be cool? And they'll say yes, right? I'm looking to get that yes confirmation, right? Or I would turn it into a no-oriented question and say, you wouldn't be opposed to that, would you? And they'd be like, no, right? And then I'll go, hey, what's Sean's number? And then either they'll tell me or they'll be like, well, let me call them and see, like either way, it's a good thing for you. Because If they give you the number, obviously that's wonderful. You'll just, hey, what I'll do is I'll call Sean and let him know that you said it was okay, blah, 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 in the phone call. If they say, okay, let me call him first, that's even better because now you get yourself a warm handoff. So there's so many different things that I can teach about how to handle these situations. Again, if you're running into challenges with this, or even if you get that and you're like, LA, how do I make that next phone call? How do I, call him back and find out, if Sean said it was okay for me to call, then, I'll do a podcast on that. You guys can just let me know kind of in the comment section when you're rating the podcast and all that good stuff. I'd appreciate it. Or you can just text me, 267-551-6279. All right. So that was a lot. I know it was a lot of information. I still got one more thing that I want to be able to share because it's a basic overcoming objection skill that I believe we must all have. And it's so simple that most people don't do it, just like most of the other stuff I'm talking about on here, right? Most people don't do it. So I'm going to play a clip and we're going to talk about how I would handle that situation. Check this out.
So I think the only big rebuttal I've been getting, or at least I should be paying attention to, is availability. Outside of that, I really haven't had too many issues with people. Well, I'll take it back. I had my last 3 customers that were supposed to come in this week. They were like, well, I'm going to wait till the auto show. That's something I never dealt with. Somebody giving me an auto show rebuttal.
So the truth of the matter is you have been giving that. The challenge is you think it's different than any other whatever situation, any other expectation, any other challenge. You think it's different, but it's not. It's the same exact thing. As soon as someone says to me that they're not going to do something for whatever reason, even if I've never heard the reason in my life before, the first thing I want to know is why, right? I need to understand why, because if I don't understand why, then I'm lost. There's no way. I have zero shot at being able to overcome their quote unquote objection, right? So the truth of the matter is I'm going to say, now I'm not going to use the word why, right? Why are you going to do that? Why? Because people don't like why questions. They're kind of combative. And so I'll go, oh, well, awesome. Well, tell me what's making you do that? What's going to be different after the auto show or during the auto show where it's going to allow you to kind of move forward? You see what I'm saying? So I'll ask the question in some form or fashion like that. That way they can tell me what they're thinking, right? Because if I don't know what they're thinking, man, I'm telling you, I'm going to be lost. So I think so many times we think that things are different, but they're not different. It's the same stuff. If somebody tells me, oh, they're just going to wait until all of this pandemic stuff blows over, I'm going to say, okay, cool. So what do you feel like is going to be different in those moments, right? I'm going to ask, I don't care what the situation is. If they tell me, oh, they're going to wait till the vehicles come back, right? I may not ask them why on that one because I kind of know why they're going to say that, right? But if I don't know why, the thing I'm going to do is ask why. And I think if we learn how to do that by saying, hey, so what's making you do that? What's putting you in that position? What is going to be different? What's going to change? That's the whole, when somebody tells you that they're not interested, I'm like, oh, well, what changed? If somebody tells you that they're waiting for something, okay, so what's going to be different? What's going to change? How is that situation going to be? What do you think in your mind? That's really what I'm asking them, right? Obviously, I'm not going to phrase it that way. But so many times we do not ask why. We just try to either assume that we know or we just give up, right? It's usually one of those two things. And so, man, these are the situations that we find ourselves training on over and over and over again. I'm looking for some new stuff to train out. Can y'all come up with some new problems? Can y'all bring me some new situations? This is kind of getting boring, Like I talk about the same stuff over and over and over again. If you guys have challenges, what I'm going to say, you already know, shoot me a text message, 267-551-6279. You can, make it a message. Just tag me in the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group. We can have the conversation there. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm just trying to help, man. I just want to help solve problems. And so this is what we do. This is myself, LA Williams. Normally you get Mr. Sean V. Bradley. This week you got a little bit of Mr. Malik, Young Jedi Bronner. You usually hear from T got your keys, K got you covered, D-Rob got your key fob, right? I mean, all kind of stuff. You got all of us here to help. But again, we represent the Millionaire Car Salesman. And so now it is your opportunity, your moment, your time to go out there and be a millionaire car salesman. I'll check y'all out next week. Peace. So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is sponsored in part by Autoweb. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.